Now, I would like to very much hear some examples from you about how these Future 9 competencies have been used in action either at the classroom level or at the system level. But before we get to that, I want to ask you more about something that I know I can already hear like the teachers and administrators saying, which is, oh gosh, not another set of standards. I mean, we already have so many standards to comply with. We have state mandated standards. We can't just throw out what we have and replace it with the Future 9 competencies, no matter how good they are. But my understanding is that you develop these competencies not to replace existing standards, but actually to work around and within existing standards and just infuse them with more competency-based education. Do I have that right?
You do have that right. There are really three ways that the Future 9 can work together with standards, current academic standards. One is to sort of amplify, dial up the most important transferable skills that are already existing in standards, but that are kind of siloed by subject area. We'll take the example of inquiry. Inquiry is happening in lots of subject area contexts. It's a really important skill for learning now, for learning in the future, for life, etc. Competencies help kind of elevate what is quality inquiry, what are the skills of inquiry, and how do you develop them? So we help teachers in their practice sort of prioritize the most important transferable skill sets in a more user-friendly format. The second way I think Future 9 can be supportive, we hear a lot of educators say, my learners are not just, or my students are not just developing academic skills and knowledge. They're whole humans who have all, aspects of their life that are important, that impact how they show up in their learning environment, how they interact with others socially, how they understand themselves and their emotional learning. The Future 9 attend to the whole child and sort of fill in the gaps of those social skills and emotional skills that you don't see explicitly stated in the standards, but we know are really important for learning. And third, I mentioned a more user-friendly format. Standards are organized by grades, grade levels, and sort of this idea of time-based advancement. The competency framework takes the sort of core whole child and academic learning skills, and instead of organizing them by time-based, grade levels, we've built developmental progressions that you can use for framing learning targets, designing assessments, giving students feedback, measuring growth using stable, common language. So there's a user friendliness to them that kind of makes the things you're already expected to do in standards much more user friendly. We've seen teachers say, you know what, I'm looking at this framework and I see language right now I can use to build a better rubric, for example. So there's lots of exciting applications, but the idea is let's lighten the design load.
Yeah.
Let's elevate what matters most to building agency for learners. And let's fill in the gaps where standards aren't really attending to some of those really important aspects of youth development.